Hi, this is Jamie with JBug Jamie. Welcome back to another great review of GreenLeaf and OWN Network new series. And this is episode 7, entitled One Train May Hide Another. Thank you for joining me. Let's get started. But before I get started, I want to shout out to, I was watching the credits of GreenLeaf for episode 6, I believe, and I happened to see one of my favorite writers wrote the show. So shout out to Elizabeth Hunter. You guys look her up. She's a great writer, and I enjoyed the episode, Elizabeth. So let's get to the review. So this episode was very powerful, might I add. This episode opening scene starts with Uncle Mac. He's having either, I'm thinking, a daydream or a dream, or they're cutting to the scene where he actually does have sex with the young lady. I'm not sure if that's what you're doing. You know how some movies do that? They'll show you like a precursor to the actual scene, like it really did happen. So either he dreamed about having the young lady, or it actually has happened. And is it me, or do you guys see this too? She really resembles Grace's daughter, Sophia. They could be sisters, twins. Anyway, so it opens up with the scene where Uncle Pervert Mac is daydreaming about the young girl, and he wakes up out of his dream, and sweating and gross. Anyway, so then it goes to meet. Jacob calls Uncle Mac and asks for a meeting. He wants to pitch an ideal to him, and Uncle Mac says, or Mac McGreedy says, sure, meet me at this time and we can talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about. Uncle Mac is walking through Calvary going to his office, and here comes Charity again about the new choir director and everything like that. She's Mr. McGreedy gets to his office, and his dad is in the office waiting. That guy is a great actor. I'll have his name, I'll try to have his name printed underneath here, right here, going across the screen. Yes, playing Mac's dad, Lady May's dad, and Mavis's dad. He's great. He's been acting a long time. I like how they're pulling out veterans. So they're having a conversation. He's like, you can't be here, Dad. What are you doing here? Cut to the scene. Cut to the part where he gets up to leave, and he asks his son for some gambling money. That's what I took from it, that he was betting on horses or whatever. And he leaves him, gives him some money, lets him leave. We get to kind of see their weird relationship. And remember, Mavis kind of hinted to that, I don't know what Mom and Dad did to you or whatever. It's just they have an odd relationship, and you kind of see a hint of that relationship. And Mac is going to be honored by some group for Man of the Year or whatever. Oh, and there is a story between Mac and his mother. We just don't know it yet, but I'm seeing into the future, and I see that something's going to be revealed about that whole relationship, as well as the relationship between the dad and Lady May, because I'll get to that as we go further. Well, Sophia and Zora ask about Jesus. They want to know, is it really true that he got up on the third day? Is it true that he was crucified, buried, and has risen, and he lives today? His sacrifice is for you and I. And Mac doesn't really explain it that great. So if you want to know the story, you got to read the Bible for yourself to get the true explanation. Mac, Lady May, and Bishop meet. First of all, Mac walks by the bishop's new secretary, and she's every stereotype that the media has portrayed a lot of black women to be. She fits the bill. So then he's like, oh, so you hired her to keep, Jacob from having an affair, and, that kind of girl would be great. But we all know that that's not always true. Then they're having a conversation. Lady May gets in her feelings, as she often does. Lady May is the epitome of, having nice clothes, looking great, but she is a drama queen if there ever was one. I mean, she finds a way to make it into an argument or make it all about her while still being posed and demure and calm doing it. She wrote the book on how to do it, ladies. Take note if you're going to be that way. Is it me? Does Bishop Steed seem like somebody who's really, really, really sincere about the work of God? Like, he really wants to do ministry work. And he wants the Greenleafs to take notice that he's real about what he's doing. He has these books he's reading. He's always on point, always there to help. Like, he seems like someone who's really there for the work of the ministry and not just money and all that other stuff. So then Mr. McGreedy, he asked for tickets to go to the Man of the Year where Morgan Freeman will be speaking at the event. I don't know why. I don't know if this is a Christian event, because I know that Morgan Freeman is not a believer, so I guess it's an outside event. Mac meets with Charity and the new choir director, and that meeting wasn't me, but did you guys catch when the choir director said he hopes everyone behaves? It's not his sexuality that's the problem, it's the fact that he's Sue crazy or Sue happy. And then when he said everyone behaves, that's like, you know, behaves in what way? Like, what is it that you're planning on doing? And church is, you're there to worship God. And so they're so consumed about entertainment and, well, what kind of songs we're going to sing. So McGreedy meets with Noah, and he overhears the fact that Noah and his future bride, they want a certain cake, but it's $800 and that's out of their budget. And so Max wheels start spinning. You know, he's ever the conniver. He's thinking, if I get that cake, they have to be on my side. Always racking up those points and racking up those people that you can pull in to be on your side. I see you, Mac. He can tell that Noah has this, it's not a rudeness, but this feeling ever since Grace told him whatever she told him. Noah has this weird vibe around him. And I forgot to mention that the church is being audited. And so Mac, that the whole vibe of the church is on edge because they're being audited by an auditor. Jacob and Mac have lunch, and Jacob pitches the church becoming involved with a TV network to Mac, and Mac's like, your father would never agree to this. Jacob's like, you know, I've been pushed out from preaching, and what am I supposed to do? I mean, they let you still do what you do, hinting to the fact that they all know that Mac is a creep. And you know, Mac kind of gets in his feelings when Jacob says that lunch is over then. Mac calls Noah's fiance and offers to pay for the cake. She reluctantly accepts. Okay, so the auditor tells Mac that she's going to need... First, the auditor asks Mac what love offering is. Can he explain it to her? And he explains what a love offering is. And then she asks for all the minutes and everything. She wants all of that. And then she also tells Mac that laws have been changed, because he quotes some law that protects them and governs them the right to do whatever they're doing with offerings. Well, not what they're doing with offerings, but they have the right to collect the offering. She lets him know that's changed and that she's going to need further information from him, which makes him kind of like, what? Every little thing makes Mac afraid. When you're doing deceitful things, you're always going to be on the edge of if you're going to be caught today or tomorrow. He acts like someone who's committed a crime, and they're like, oh, do they know? Do you know? Do I know? What did I do? Oh, you know, he's very on edge. Favorite scene of the night comes up. Grace is in her office, and here comes Mac. He's like very tense and just like, She's tense. They're both tense. He goes into her office. They have a heated exchange regarding what Grace may have or may not have told the auditor, tax auditor. Kevin walks in, and Mac tells Grace, you don't know. Grace says, I know everything. Mac says, you don't know what you don't know. Grace says, I know everything. You don't know what you don't know, what you don't know. And you don't know, says Mac. Grace, with a beautiful smile, I know everything. Everything. Sits back. Mac looks at her intently, unlooses his tie. And Kevin's just like, what's going on? Family arguing. What's going on? Family. What family? Family get along. Family. That was my favorite scene. The drama, the emotion, the facial expressions, everything was all in that scene. Gave me life. I loved it. Mac goes to his office and loses even further control. He goes nutso. I mean, because at that moment he's like, oh my God, the tax returns. She's going to know that I either, A, these are all my opinions, I paid for these girls to have abortions. B, I gave their family money to cover it up. C, it's over. I'm caught. I'm going to prison. Like, he's worried about all that coming out. Everything. Mac has an interview with the news reporter, and she's like bragging on him and everything. And here comes Bishop GreenLeaf. He's off looking, you know, because he's just like, he's known all along. Anyway, so they go. He's like, I need to see you, man of the year. They go to his office and they have a heated conversation. And I want to point out, I have it written down here. This was my second favorite scene of the night was this scene. Because of the statement that Bishop GreenLeaf made to Mac. He said to Mac, if you spent half of the time doing your job as you spend wandering all over town looking for people to save, that let me know right there that Bishop GreenLeaf, he knew all along that Mac was out there molesting or raping these young girls. That statement alone was powerful, and it sealed the deal for the night. It was over. We could all go home, pack your bags, cut the TV off. It's done. That scene for me, that was it right there. That let me know everything I need, everything I needed to know. And it also showed that Bishop GreenLeaf doesn't really care for Mac that much. Mac just serves a purpose, and Mac knows secrets that if it all got out, it would just ruin everything. Not just secrets about Mac, but secrets about everybody. And he keeps things afloat. He keeps skeletons in the closet. He keeps them from wandering out of the closet all over the floor, everywhere. So that's what their relationship is. It's not that he loves Mac. It's just Mac is his partner as far as business goes. They hear screaming out. It cuts to Charity and Uncle Mac, and then, you know, Charity being annoying about wanting the guy to have full coverage or full insurance. And so they hear arguing in the foyer, and it's the dad. He's back. He calls his daughter Lady May, a term that no father should ever call their daughter. I felt so like, oh, what is it? Then I wanted to know more just by that term that he called her. He called her a high yellow whore. Excuse me for anyone who's watching who may be older. I'm just repeating the scene. I have respect for my elders. He also says, she's not even my daughter. Whew. That just left me like clutching my gold pearls. I was clutching them. Whew. She's not his daughter. And what else did she get into? Jesus. Okay, then we cut to where Jacob calls Mac and says that he's sorry. Well, we really cut to another powerful telling scene where, you know, Mac gets his award. He comes home. The young girl is out in the foyer of their apartment. He takes her upstairs. They have a conversation. He gives her this sob story about how he wanted to kill himself and how he's this. Oh, my heart goes out to young girls who are neglected by their parents, who don't have any guidance, who can't see through the fakeness, the facade that some people will do to get what they want from a person. And then he's drinking alcohol. She goes to pour the alcohol. He drinks a little bit. She asks for some. He says no. He shows her the picture of some woman he's been obsessing over from another century and tells her that they look alike. And then they cut to the young lady grabbing the drink and almost drinking it and end scene. Tonight's episode was it was on point because it gave us all we needed in acting. The acting was on point. As I said, my two favorite scenes was Grace and Mac in the office, and then Mac and Bishop GreenLeaf in his office, and then in the foyer with First Lady May and the whole church, and just the whole this night, that episode 7 just gave it all. It just was life. It was great. So let me know your thoughts on episode 7, what you liked, what you didn't like, and I will see you in my next review. And thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys, and see you next time.